Tragically, the winds of war are gaining gale force. Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to better navigate these turbulent times. Most everyone senses the world is becoming more dangerous, yet public anxiety remains fairly low-key. It simmers, but is not boiling over in everyday conversation. That will be changing. A big war is brewing between Israel, Hezbollah, and Iran. U.S. diplomats are trying to head it off, but unless Tehran's murderous mullahs back off their goal of isolating and destroying Israel, a war seems almost inevitable. Such a conflict could rapidly expand, involving the U.S. and Russia. It could prompt China to even more aggressive moves that could lead to a confrontation between Washington and Beijing. The flashpoint is the border between northern Israel and southern Lebanon. Hezbollah, Iran's large lethal tentacle in that area, has been launching missiles and drones into the Jewish state since October 7th. These attacks have intensified in recent weeks. Some 80,000 Israeli residents have had to be evacuated. This is an intolerable situation for a sovereign state. Israel cannot allow a terrorist organization force it to effectively abandon chunks of its territory. Iran's goal is to force a deal. Hezbollah will pull back and stop firing rockets in return for a ceasefire in Gaza that leaves Hamas not only intact, but also in a position to eventually exert power over Gaza and then the West Bank. Jerusalem could never sign off to such an agreement. It would be the Jewish state's long-term death knell, would signal that Israel no longer has the will to control or destroy mortal enemies. That's why a bigger war is likely coming, even if the U.S. does come up with a way to keep that from happening until after our elections. Hezbollah's fighters are more numerous and probably more capable than those of Hamas. It possesses over 150,000 missiles of various kinds. Taking out Hezbollah would be costly. Some of its rockets and drones will get through Israel's Iron Dome and hit populated urban areas. Moreover, Iran won't stand by. It will launch its own missiles into Israel. It will be tempted to take the final step to create a nuclear device. Will Israel have the means to destroy or substantially cripple Iran's nuclear facilities, which over the years have been hardened underground and dispensed around the country? Israel will need U.S. assistance to fight against Hezbollah and Iran, not to mention the remnants of Hamas. But would we give it? The fact that such a question could be asked heartens the mullahs that a timorous Washington will try to stay Israel's hand against a full-force campaign against Hezbollah. Faced with such grim prospects, Israel may well feel it must chance a big war anyway, including taking out those nuclear facilities, and probably sooner rather than later. And wars never go in predicted directions. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions. I look forward to being with you soon again.